once we had systems to actually measure things properly. Bouncing Bolt was also doing insane damage, as you know, if you ever played in PvP. However, he still has some of the fastest kill times in certain builds and some of the slowest kill times in other builds. So yesterday we focused a lot on buffing the damage of his cold tree, and I'd like to get that to be just as good as his other trees. So I think for January, one of the focuses is going to be making sure every tree is buffed on Loki until there are at least three viable builds for him. Luke Cage, because of his pets and because he has pretty good damage enhancers in his kit, is in a really good spot. He does a lot of damage in various builds. Pets are one of the best damage enhancer because they're fire and forget. They're always with you. They're tanking for you, so they help your time to live as well as your time to kill. Luke Cage was designed with a lot of stuff right out of the gate, so he did not require any new stuff, but just wanted to make sure his numbers were as good as everyone else, which we did. Luke Cage is awesome. This costume's awesome too. Yep. Ms. Marvel. When we were looking at Ms. Marvel, we realized that a lot of her mechanics were really fundamentally broken. So we decided that Michael Mayhem would just stay late many days in a row and just do her level 52 rework so we could deal with it and make sure she was balanced after that. She does some insane damage on test in various builds. We're still making sure that her kit is appropriate, so there's a few build options and that she's not utterly crazy DPS, but I think people will be very happy playing her after this rework. Interestingly, Frank Castle had really good survivability because of this, because we added this a couple months ago, pain tolerance. It's a really good mechanic. Riolner likes playing with it because it means he never dies.
I die sometimes.
He does die sometimes because he's not a good player.
Hey!
No, that's not true. He's great. So we just buffed his numbers, frankly. We gave him a lot of time to kill enhancers in his kit. Recently, we took away his gain more damage as you're far away mechanic and gave attack speed to rifle shot. So if you're playing a shotgun build and you're up close or whatever, you're playing a steel toe kick build like everybody does. Just kidding. If you're close, you're not going to suffer. In fact, you're going to enjoy it because you're going to have rapid fire. That's about it for him. The goal with Punisher is when his rework is done, we put in the Punisher van. We make sure that he has a couple more really iconic badass powers. Make sure his DPS stays at the very top, and we're good. This got buffed actually, Explosive Rocket, because it was under-tuned a little bit.
Davy Crockett.
Yeah, the Davy Crockett device for Punisher just changes how you play him completely, which is perfect. Speaking of uniques that change the way you play, one of the cool uniques for Rocket Raccoon is his Burrower's body armor, which allows you to, right there, oh yeah, I called it, which gives you really nice buffs after Burning Escape, and it just basically gives you a new play style. And we'd like to have at least one, if not more, uniques for every hero that give you like a totally different build option, something you would never do. Anyway, Rocket mainly needed like twice as much DPS. Whoa. So we gave him twice as much DPS, essentially, in various forms, including allowing him to drop a bunch of turrets, which is pretty fun. And increasing a couple of other damage modifiers in his kit so that he just got up to top deeps. Groot does a lot more damage now. I believe Pyrokinid senses is buffed, etc. He also badly needed a new icon for Pistol Whip and for Shrewd Dude, so he got those. That helped his DPS, I think, because it made players more confident. For his 52 rework, we'll see if the mech suit is viable. If it's just at the cost of another hero, we probably won't do it. But I really want to try to get something like it for him, something really crazy and fun. When Marvel was here showing us the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, it looked so damn cool that I think having the Guardians either as playable or as team-up characters is something that we should really try to do. Scarlet Witch needs food badly. Her kit was a complete mess. It's probably the messiest kit I've ever seen in the history of gaming. But she's actually really cool. She has a lot of unique mechanics. She has some really powerful mechanics. She has choice mechanics, which is pretty interesting. We took some small steps to where you would think we would go with her rework, cleaning up some stuff, giving her a little bit of survivability should she choose that, buffing her deeps in various ways, changing the functionality of chaos magic just a bit, etc. And of course, improving her icons so you feel better about playing her. She is fairly high priority on the list for a rework, just to make her more fun. At the same time, keeping her at top DPS for sure. This is a pretty awesome costume. This is actually a really, really good costume. Can everyone hear me okay? How do you know that, Bjornar? You have no way.
They're not.
Okay. That's
Maybe
when you.
Maybe they just tuned out.
That's when you know loot is too good. When no one is complaining about it, you're like, oh shit, it's too good.
Hey, what you know?
I'm just kidding. Spider-Man. Awesome. Some people like this costume. I love this costume. It reminds me of the old days. What did we do with Spider-Man? We didn't have to do a lot with Spider-Man, frankly. Towards the end of the balancing period, we realized that when you take away one or two of his damage enhancers, that his melee build starts to get bad. So we iterated basically every day to make his melee build as strong as his ranged build. Little things like yesterday we reduced spirit cost of Amazing Uppercut as a request from some of the top Spider-Man players. And I think we put a plus damage to melee on somewhere on his build. Anyway, we just had reworked him, so he's really good, but we want to make sure he stays good even when all powers are actually doing what they should be doing. So if we have to keep iterating on him, we will, because he's very iconic. Squirrel Girl, main thing was we wanted to consolidate one of her passives, so she has one less passive, and just make sure that she's still doing appropriately strong DPS. Oh, darn. The reason that we added an acorn is because Marvel said, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have a huge acorn? We said yes, and we did. That's all. Storm needs a rework. Her VFX, some of her VFX could be a lot better. We did some minor upgrades to her icons, so you actually got a better sense of what they truly did. And we changed a couple of her powers so that she has a little bit more options. Not a ton of changes, but we know we need to do a rework on her. Oh, awesome. I love this costume. You should buy this costume right now. So cool. Good cloth, too. Good cloth modeling. So when Storm gets her rework, we will be very active with the Storm community talking about what they'd like to see. By the way, because heroes have changed so much in this month's patch, we're probably going to put up a new hero review questionnaire. I was going through a lot of them over the last few days, and now they're very redundant and outdated for a lot of heroes. So we'll probably start up new ones so people can comment on a lot of their new builds and tell us what they'd like to see in the future. Thing is awesome. He, like I said, he has time to kill enhancers that can never be measured against a targeting dummy because they are based on people attacking you and having a damage shield. Having said that, we still wanted to make sure his just pure output was improved in case he's in some kind of raid situation or just terminal situation where he's not getting hit. He still needs to do good damage. So we buffed him. Oh, look at this. Dog tags, cool. Semper Fi. So his DPS is quite high. His survivability was never an issue. In fact, he had one of the top 5 survivability in the game, most likely. Look at this costume. This is ridiculous. I cannot wait for the other ones that we're doing. Thor. Whenever I play Thor, for some reason I want to go to IHOP and order pancakes. I'm not sure why. So Thor is a super badass character. He's gone through stages where in the game he has not been super badass, and we kind of want to correct that. It's a little bit difficult because his damage enhancer kit was actually pretty poor up until his rework. So a lot of his damage had to be artificially baked into powers with just really dumb base damages like God Blast and such. So we made all of his powers do the correct damage that they should, and then we started adding time to kill and time to live enhancers to him. So Warrior Madness, which is the correct flavor that Marvel talks to us a lot about, we made it less of a survivability buff for him, so he doesn't have to rely on it, and more of a DPS buff. We also added a mechanic that's very correct to his actual Warrior Madness, which is he uses it when he is damaged, when he's under fire. So the way it works, it's really important if you're a Thor player to know how it works. You get up to a double bonus to your damage. Actually, yes, it's up to double, theoretically, if you could press it at 1%. And you get that bonus when you activate it, and that's when it's locked in for the entire duration. So if you're a good Thor player, you'll press it at the last possible moment. It's like you're in Vegas, you'll go for a high risk, high reward. And that will determine how much bonus your damage you're doing for the entire duration. So you can use it and then use your healing potion or use any other healing potion. Wow. Then use your medikit. And then the life on hit that you get will bring up your health, but your damage bonus will still be locked in at that low amount. So keep that in mind. We changed the icon in this. Badly needed. We put more stuff into Asgardian stamina. So it's sort of a one-stop shop, and if you care about melee at all, which you should if you're Thor, we put some more love into Immortal Kombat. I think a couple more builds are going to be viable. We're going to talk to a lot with the Thor community to make sure Thor is 10 out of 10, even before his rework. And then after his rework, we have a couple of ideas for really even cooler stuff. Like we're probably going to get rid of this as his ultimate and make his signature power the power of the 9 realms, which he used in the Thor movie, where he brings in like 9 different attacks from 9 different Asgardian realms, and make this like just a regular power probably, and make his make God Blast his signature and make it work exactly like it should work based on lore. And then there's the all important, where do you put the move speed on this and this? That's kind of the 50-50. Next dude is, is that it?
That's the end.
Do you have all the characters?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have Venom.
No, not yet.
Oh, I forgot. These guys haven't seen Venom yet. So Awesome. Look at that. Look at that outfit. Wolverine. Wolverine, when he launched, was okay. Not great. We did a mini rework on Wolverine, and gave him some sort of interesting game mechanics, very similar to a rogue in WoW if you've played that, and it's pretty cool. He does not have a ton of options. I believe that his options may be increased a little with this rework, with the mini rework, but it's unclear. His level 52 is going to give him a lot more good stuff. But the goal now is make sure his survivability is super solid, and make sure his DPS is super solid, because he is a melee. He doesn't have a ton of AoE. He needs to have super solid single target DPS at very minimum. Plus his AoE has to be as effective as humanly possible, because he's not casting giant fireballs or storm clouds. One of the things we did for quality of life was consolidate these two things in the next build. So there's only one passive, which we also did with Deadpool. We increased the effectiveness of these babies when used together. We put a physical damage bonus on Adamantium Skeleton very recently. I think I did that yesterday, or the team did that yesterday, which is really good, which increases his time to kill. We took off dodge for a while because, for flavor reasons, we had this big discussion that Wolverine doesn't dodge; he just takes it like a man. But we felt that it didn't totally represent the fact that he's actually a very skilled fighter. He's not just a brute tank. So we got a lot of references, and we put dodge back on yesterday, which is awesome. It'll bring his time to live to an incredibly respectable level. And probably when he's attacking and life stealing appropriately, he's probably going to be almost unkillable. Hey, what's up? Cotton Candy Cats is here. Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Jeff is looking for someone who can be a liaison with Test Center.
The test center?
Yeah. Are you guys still streaming?
Yeah, I'm still streaming, but I'm almost done. I was about to get to Moon Knight after this. Riolner
He's in my office.
He's drunk. He thinks it's Beer Fridays. So that's awkward. Yeah, don't tell him.
You know what soaks up alcohol?
Yep. Awesome.
I love the butter.
Okay.
All right, thanks. That was Cotton Candy Cats. She's working on Nightcrawler right now. So anyway, Wolverine is a total badass, and we want to make sure that he's represented as a total badass. His DPS, I believe, will be very strong after tomorrow's tweaks, and he should be in well into the time to kill ratio of everyone else. Draco is doing a good job of making sure that's true, and there's only upside afterwards. I'm really curious to know. Oh, by the way, we increased his fury rate, which is just a very nice buff to his DPS right there. I'm really curious to talk to Wolverine players once we get around to his rework, probably in March, and discuss what his alt and what his signature power should be. I think he should throw Colossus, but there's not a lot of traction for that around the office, which kind of sucks. What else? God, I don't want to leave. I'm having so much fun. Synergies. We buffed Cyclops Synergy to be 10% XP in the next build, and there's probably a couple of other synergies that I'm going to look at really closely and ascertain whether or not they need to be buffed, including the various proc damage synergies, to make sure they are correctly scaled, since the game is now at a higher level of damage output. We want to make sure that the various proc synergies are indeed strong enough, like these guys. Also, there's one other synergy that was touch on the weak side that I might want to buff a little bit, and that's Storm Spirit. Probably maybe bring these to 15 each. And if you guys have any other suggestions, I'll start a thread tonight about what synergies feel like they're getting left in the dust, and we can talk about it. In this tab will be achievements in the coming months, which will be a lot of fun. Alright, I guess that's it. Guys, it's been a pleasure doing this. As you can tell, I like to talk quite a bit, but don't hate, appreciate, and I'll see you next time.